So far, we've learned a lot about JavaScript, and you may be wondering, we know so much, but why are we not yet making something practical and useful? And that's a good question. You see, when you use a language like JavaScript, a language has to interact with other systems so it can make something practical and useful. So in case of JavaScript and making front-end applications, the JavaScript engine has to interact with the browser APIs to make something practical and useful. And in this video and onwards, we're going to be learning about the browser APIs, the different features that the browser API provides us, and using JavaScript in combination with the browser API, then we can make these beautiful looking applications for the front end. So let's get started. I just used a pretty complicated word with you called browser API. So let's take a look on what that is. I'm going to simply Google Introduction to API Mozilla, and the first link that shows up, I'm going to open it. So that's a good documentation that you should read on understanding what APIs and web APIs are. But for the sake of this lesson, I'm going to scroll down over here, and there's a section that says, what are APIs? So APIs stand for Application Programming Interface, all right? So it's a pretty long, big word, but it's very simple in concept. So API is a word used for, let's say we are developers, and when we are interacting or interfacing with any system, let's say we are interacting with the browser system, maybe we are interacting with, let's say, the Facebook comment feature. Let's say if you want to integrate comments in our website. Let's say if you want to introduce the Google login feature, we as developers are interacting and interfacing with the Google login feature, right? We're using that. So whenever we as developers are interacting and interfacing with these systems, we do it via their API or their interfaces or their application programming interfaces. That's all it means. It's just an interface. And these interfaces can look different for different systems, but API is just a generic word to describe an interface. That's all. All right. A good example that Mozilla gives us over here is, let's say if you have an appliance, maybe you have a charger, maybe you have a refrigerator, they all provide you with a plug. So when we want to interact and interface with the electricity system of our entire house, we just plug in to that outlet. That's all we do. So this outlet acts as an interface to the entire big system of electricity in our house, and that system connects with the power supply company, and they do whatever wiring for the entire city. So we don't have to worry about the entire complexities, right? So similarly, when we are working with the browser API, let's say the browser has the feature of debugging. They have the feature of giving us the user information and location information. All this complexity is behind the scenes of in the browser, and the browser gives us simple interfaces, simple APIs, so that we can use that and make complex applications. So that's what APIs stands for, and that's what API is. So that's a good introduction. In the next video, we're going to look at a little bit more deeper into the different pieces that a browser has, and then what kind of APIs it gives us. And we're going to start using those APIs, and finally we'll be using our JavaScript knowledge combined with the browser APIs so we can build these web applications that you really want to create. It's not possible without the browser APIs. A lot of people do not explain that concept to you, but now you know. So talk to you in the next video.